I'm Sir Wilmore. Welcome to English for Academics and Professional Purposes. Welcome to Week 5.
Still remember the RC Cola commercial? Given a chance to give your reaction to it, how will you write it? What critical writing approach will you use? From the previous lesson, you learned the different critical approaches to writing. You can use any of these approaches and critique forms of art and literature to help you and your reader understand or have another perspective on how to look at these things. Now, how will you do it? How will you proceed in critiquing the said commercial?
Ma?
Oo?
Ampun po ba ako?
Ha? Sino naman nagsabi sa'yo niyan?
Kasi ma, lagi na akong inaasar sa school eh. Ampun daw ako ma eh.
Anak, di ba sinabi ko sa'yo huwag ka magpapa-apekto sa sinasabi ng iba?
Pero ma, sabihin mo sa akin ma, ampun po ba ako? Ha? Ma! Ampun ba ako? Ha? May paliwanag mo ko ma. May paliwanag mo bakit may 4 na baso ako sa likod?
Matagal na namin itinago ito sa'yo, anak. Pero sa palagay ko, panahon nang malaman mo.
What is critiquing? Critiquing is a systematic way of highlighting weakness and strengths and weaknesses and its applicability to practice. Experts affirm that almost every reader can identify the strengths and weaknesses of a masterpiece. Why write a critique? A critique is an exercise in judging the value of a piece of writing or research. It is also a way of improving your own skills by looking at the way other writers and researchers work. It is a valuable exercise in the careful reading of text that will increase your understanding of a particular subject. What are the functions of being a critic? 1. To introduce the author or work. 2. Ignite interest on a neglected work. 3. Show relationship between ages and cultures. 4. Contribute to better understanding of a work. 5. Make a study on art and its making. And 6. Introduce the relationship of art and life. Take note, a critique is the paper that exercises the value of a piece of writing or research, while a critic is a person who writes a critique. What are the steps that we need to do to write a critique? It is important that your critique has a definite structure and is easy to follow. You will need to think logically about how you sequence your work. Let's have now the pattern that you might like to use. 1. Analyze the text. This should include some or all of the following. Set out the main purpose of the author's book or article. Identify the main point that the author is making. Discuss the arguments that are used to support the main point and the evidence that supports them. Explain the conclusions reached by the author and how they have been reached. 2. Evaluate the text. You will need to comment not only on the content of the piece, but also on the way in which it has been written. Consider the following. Is the argument logical? Is the text well organized, clear, and easy to read? Have important terms been clearly defined? Are the facts accurate? Do the arguments support the main point? Is there sufficient evidence for the arguments? Does the text present and consider opposing point of view? Does the material help you understand the subject? What questions, observations does this article suggest? What does this text make you think about? 3. Write in standard essay form. A critique should be written in an essay format. It will need an introduction, a main body of text, and a conclusion. You will need to prepare a rough draft of your essay. What are the parts of a critique? 1. Introduction. Define the subject of your critique and your point of view. Background to research. 2. Main body. Begin with a brief summary describing the project. Discuss the strengths of the article. Discuss the weaknesses of the article. 3. Conclusion. Re-emphasize your argument, point of view. Make final suggestions and/or positive and negative criticisms on the book or article you critiqued. What questions, observations does the article suggest? That's the final paragraph. Learning Task 1. React to the statements presented by choosing from the faces presented to express your feelings regarding the given sentences. Happy face, sad face, neutral face. 1. Getting back to class again. 2. How the government leaders are doing their job. 3. Immediate closure of ABS-CBN. 4. Knowing that you have teachers who are concerned about you. 5. Not having a girlfriend, boyfriend yet. 6. Plans of going to college next year. 7. Discovery of an effective vaccine against COVID-19 that is accessible to everybody. 8. adjusting to the demands of this new normal. 9. Increasing number of COVID-19 recoveries in our country. 10. Sarah Geronimo signing a contract in GMA. Learning Task 2. Answer the questions based on the texts given. 1. Among your responses, which have the most number of faces? 2. How did you feel while giving your reactions? 3. Is it important to always give reactions to everything that's happening around us? Why do you say so? Learning Task 3. Write true if the statement is correct. False if not. 1. A critic is the same thing as a critic. 2. Critiquing allows a person to see the weakness for improvement. 3. There are a variety of ways on how to write a critique. 4. Critique papers can be used solely for arts purposes. 5. Research is needed when writing a critique. 6. Performing criticism is finding fault and errors in forms of art and literature. 7. Arguments supporting the main point and its evidences are relevant in a critique. 8. Author's background is insignificant to his or her work. 9. Recommendation should be written at the end of the critique. 10. A critique benefits the readers or viewers, not the author or creator. Learning Task 4. Listen or read the story. A story about Albert Einstein. As a child, Albert Einstein had a great difficulty in speaking and reading due to his dyslexia. His teachers thought he was mentally retarded and antisocial. One teacher even told his father, no matter what he does, he will never amount to anything. He was forced to take up a job as a clerk in a Swiss patent office, and it seemed the teacher's prophecy was coming true. But in 1905, while still a clerk, he published a paper called The Special Theory of Relativity. The paper became so famous that by 1908, he was considered a leading scientist, and by 1921, he won the Nobel Prize. By the time he died, he became the most famous scientist of all time, and his name became synonymous with the word genius. So, what happened to the critics who said he was mentally retarded and would never amount to anything? Well, nobody knows what happened to them, since nobody bothers to remember them. That's the story of Albert Einstein, adapted from inspirational stories of overcoming criticism and achieving success by Anubhav Srivastava. 1. What lesson did you get from this story? 2. What's the importance of not giving in to the criticisms of other people? 3. Learning Task 5. Choose from the items presented a painting or an article and write your critique paper reaction using any of the given critical writing approaches. Put your answers on a whole sheet of paper. 1. Work of art. Title: Hapag ng Pag-asa. Painter: Joey Velasco. Two, an article. PUP grads are employers' top pick for new hires by Faye Orellana. Graduates from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines or PUP emerged anew as the top choice of employers when it comes to hiring fresh graduates, a latest report by JobStreet Philippines showed. According to the data of the 2018 Fresh Graduate Report, the state-run university bested the 4 other big universities in the country. Radyo Inquirer 9:90 AM reported on Wednesday. In 2016 report, JobStreet also found that graduates from PUP are the top choice of various employers. Following PUP were the University of the Philippines, Ateneo de Manila University, University of Santo Tomas, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, and Far Eastern University. Both the La Salle University and Technological Institute of the Philippines landed at the 7th spot. The University of San Carlos, University of Cebu, and the University of the East were also part of the top 10. JobStreet report said the employers are highly considering the qualities of the fresh graduates, particularly their willingness to learn, personal grooming, and ability to work with others. The company added that 24% of employers coming from the BPO industry, manufacturing, professional services, retail, and machinery and equipment said that they were already willing to hire graduates from the K-12 programs, report showed. Meanwhile, 25% of employers said that they were still not yet ready to hire K-12 graduates.